Hey Earth, welcome to the show. Jajana here. This is the place where we talk about life lessons learned from K-dramas, Nollywood movies, and black films. How are you? For real, how are you? The world is going crazy. So I truly hope that you're doing really well and that you are taking care of yourself and not feeling anxious and just trusting that God is in control and keeping hope alive. Seriously, people, I really hope that you're doing really good. And if you're not, talk to somebody, check in with a friend that you trust because we can't do this life alone. So I want to thank the new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I really appreciate you subscribing to this channel. To the loyal, deep subscribers, thank you for staying loyal. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for your support. And I truly hope that it is a blessing to each one of you. So before we get into She Would Never Know, I want to ask you to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I thank you for doing so. Without any much talk from me, let's get into She Would Never Know. So we're talking about Rejection and She Would Never Know. But here's the rundown on She Would Never Know. It is a 2021 K-drama. It is currently on Netflix with subtitles. It's also showing on Amazon Prime, but I did watch it on Netflix. It stars Won Jun-ah as Song-ha and then Rowoon as Han-song. And so the general synopsis says that Song-ha and Han-song work at a cosmetic marketing firm, and the two slowly grow closer, sharing a workplace relationship. So the general idea is that Song-ha is already in a relationship, and then Han-song is being trained by Song-ha, and he starts to fall in love with Song-ha, like, you know, from the moment he saw her, but come to discover that she already has a boyfriend. The boyfriend is actually their supervisor, their manager, their boss. And so, but Han-song discovers something about their manager, in that he's actually getting married to the CEO's sister, okay? And because Han-song, right, he really likes Song-ha, he wants to tell her this, in which he does tell her, but she obviously hates him for telling her this. Not that it's his fault, but it's that, you know, she felt like a fool and all of that, and, you know, knowing that he really likes her, and so she kind of questions his motive, right, for saying that. But he actually did show her as well that they were getting, that her boyfriend and the CEO's sister were getting married. So long story short, basically, you know, it's that Han-song makes him his he confesses his love to Song-ha, right? And she turns him down. She rejects him, you know, and she doesn't want anything to do with him. So today we're talking about how he dealt with that rejection, right? And how do you deal with rejection? Let's focus on relationship-wise. So I had a crush on a guy that I worked with, and I really liked him, and you know, and I wanted to tell him, and I would like, yes, don't judge me for this. Yes, I bought a guy lunch, and you know, because I really liked him, I really wanted him to like me, and I hoped that he would, but he didn't like me. He liked me as a friend. He didn't want anything else. And I felt really rejected and dejected and like, you know, what's wrong with me? You know, why don't you like me? And so, you know, I don't know what, you know, who you've fallen for, you know, who you've confessed your love to, you know, or maybe you're thinking, and then you're thinking you might get rejected. One thing I liked about Han-song was that he was bold about how he felt, about expressing how he felt about Song-ha. He was bold. I really love that. And I know that it's a guy, and so, you know, there's that stereotypical, the guy's the one that chases the woman and all of that. But the fact was that she did not want him. She rejected him. She wanted her boyfriend, their manager. That was who she's been in love with for 2 years, right? And although it hurt, she still wanted to be with him. And here's this guy, Hansong, trying to tell her, I love you. I would never do that to you. I would never hurt you. And she flat out rejects him. So I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but if you have, this is my advice to you: to shake it off. You have to shake it off. You cannot dwell there. So I have 3 things that I did, and I praise God because it did not make me cynical. So the first one is acceptance. Acceptance to me has just been a really big word lately. Accepting that you were rejected, and when you accept it, what does that look like? It looks like you talk about it with someone you trust, right? Like a really good friend or a really close sibling or a mother or your father, whomever. Talk to somebody. Don't just dwell on it. Don't just sit on it, right? His Hansong sister knew that, he really liked Songha. And so he could confide in her a lot about his feelings for Songha. So if there's somebody that you trust, talk to them about it, because then your mind will understand that you have been rejected, because we don't need none of that stalker, thing. So talk about it. When you talk about it, you're not holding it in and you're not festering over it, and then you're not being angry about it. So that's the first key, accepting that this has happened. Oh man, it hurts. I had to accept it, that it had happened. And it's like, oh well. And the crazy thing, you guys, is that I worked with this guy. So it's like I would see him, every day. So that was really challenging, because it's like, I just, told you I like you, and you don't feel the same way. It's embarrassing, but this too shall surely pass. And how you do that is you accept it and you talk to someone about it, and yeah, and then keep it pushing. Number 2, move on. You've got to move on. Once you accept it, you've got to move on. You can never try to convince anyone that you're good for them. When Songha rejected Hyunsung, he left it, right? Like he stopped communicating, not stop because they had to work together, but he didn't look at her the same way. He didn't try to find ways to talk to her and all of that. And then what happened? Songha was like, oh, I miss him. She started feeling like, I miss him. I want to talk to him, right? And, he's a good guy. Like, he's a good person, So when you're moving on, you're focusing on your work, you're doing what you need to do. And then who knows? I know the right person will show up, The point is that we as individuals, we all bring something to the table, When Jesus told the disciples, he said when they go out and they go into someone's house and that person doesn't receive them, like they knock on the door and the person shuts the door in their face or whatever, you're just supposed to dust your feet off and just keep it pushing. Yes, Jesus said, keep it pushing, okay? So you can't just sit there and dwell on it. You've got to move forward, because there is something better for you, okay? And you can't dwell on the fact that this person said no to you, right? And then the third one is, don't let rejection make you cynical. I realize we're in this world now, we're so cynical about love, about romance. I think that's why some people are like, gosh, K-dramas and all of that, and they're not realistic, they're not this. But my goodness, because we're so cynical, yes, there isn't much romance, because we've allowed all the rejections we've received to beat us down. Okay? We cannot be cynical. You cannot be cynical. The point is that that person that rejected you, they missed out on their blessing. What? You've got to realize that you are a blessing, and it's okay. When you decide to allow that rejection to continue to fester within you and you continue to wallow in that, then you become cynical. And then when something good comes by, how are you going to recognize that that's something good, that that person is actually right for you? How are you going to recognize that? I've heard guys say that, oh, they don't like asking women out because of rejection, you know? And it's like, so what? She's not meant for you. You know, when jobs reject you, when family members reject you, it is not about you. You know, being in the entertainment business, and I go to auditions, or, you know, I'm casting and it's all of that. It's nothing personal. It's hard to hear no. Yes, don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to allow that to make me cynical. You have got to allow rejection to build your resilience. That is what rejection will do. It will build your resilience. So when I saw the guy again at work, I'm like, hey, what's up? It was okay. It was okay. I wasn't going to give him power. And you know what? There was another guy at the job that actually liked me, and he actually asked me out. I'm like, okay. And he was cute, you know, and we went on. We had a 3-year relationship. So, but if I had stayed wallow and like cynical and just like, oh, this and that, and just, you know, I really want us to change our perspective. Just because one person rejects you doesn't mean you will never find love again, or you'll never like anybody again. Stop it. Shake it off. Dust it off and keep it pushing. And God will bring that person that is for you. So, spoiler alert, Han Song did end up with Songha in the end. She was so amazed by how much he loved her and how much he cared about her and how loyal he was to her. So they did end up together. Before I leave you, I would like to encourage us with the scripture from 1 Peter 2:4. And it says, as you come to him, the living stone, rejected by humans, but chosen by God and precious to him. Yes, you are precious to God, right? And you also have to know your worth. You have to know your worth. You have to know your value, okay? And so when people reject you, like I said earlier, it's not about you, it's about them. So I don't know what you're going through, but if you're feeling any type of rejection, whether in your personal life, whether with your job, whether with your family, whatever that rejection looks like in your life currently, know that you are precious to God. Know that you are valuable, okay? And that you are worth it. Okay, don't let one thing anybody says to you about rejecting you, do not allow it to stick to you. Brush it off and move forward. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. Check out She Would Never Know. I really enjoyed it. I thought rowoon is definitely very attractive. So check it out. It's a great storyline too. It's very character driven too. So do check it out. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about rejection. How have you dealt with rejection? And whatever ideas you guys have, please let me know, and I can see about talking more about those ideas. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. But guys, I know that these are some challenging times and you might be anxious, but like I said, please trust God that He has it, and pray and don't allow it to hold you back. Okay? Take care of yourself. Until next time, y'all. I love you. and I will talk to you later. Bye.